How's everybody doing at home out there? Welcome back to the Two Drummers podcast. My name is Anthony Fung.
I'm Anton Peterson.
Mm-hmm. And today we're going to be talking about fitness and how fitness plays a giant role in our lives as drummers. And I'd like to kind of hear, what Anton has to say about fitness, because I know that he's had a long history with kung fu and boxing and different various methods of exercising throughout his life. And why don't you take it away and tell us a little bit about it?
So for me, fitness for drums is kind of important because it's a very physical instrument. Mm-hmm. So when I think of keep myself healthy, you want to keep your joints healthy. So I do a lot of stretching and warm-ups before I play to make sure my joints are healthy. But when I get away from the kit, I always make sure that I'm taking care of things that are gonna keep me in like good muscle balance. Mm-hmm. So when I think of working out for drums, I think of muscle balance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is in core essential things. And I don't really go to the gym for myself. I don't really go to the gym anymore. I usually use a calisthenic based thing and a kung fu kind of based workouts. A lot of natural body motions. But the most important thing has been for me, because I'm prone to hip things, is making sure that my muscle balance, because all the times I've ever had an issue or whatever, it's all been traced to muscle balance. And having when I talk about that is there's your front line and the back line, right? So if you're playing drums all the time, you're really working your what you consider the front line muscles,
upper body.
Yeah. So it's not even the upper body. It's because I don't know how much you know about anatomy or whatever, but your muscles are
not too much.
Yeah, your muscles are completely connected from toes to fingertips, right? So you got connective tissues and tendons and ligaments, right? So your whole front line, you can have tight quads, right? And it's affecting your hip flexors, which can affect your posture, which can affect your hips. You have deep core muscles that affect your lower back and your hips, right? So if you have really tight outer hips, but you're flexible on the inside of your legs, right? You're going to have hip issues. Or if your lower back is super tight and you have a weak stomach, you're going to have disc compression and stuff like that, which is going to affect the way you play, because if your nerves are being pinched, how can you, for me, I play fast double bass. I got to stay relaxed. If I can't stay relaxed because I have pain in my back, then I'm forcing it, which is going to make the issue even worse, right? And then you'll get numbness in your feet, or it's just an avalanche of problems that just go down the line. So my whole thing is developing exercise routines that keep me balanced front line to back line. So and mobility. So my thing for myself is mobility, stretching. I try not to overstretch. I find for myself, because everybody's so different,
right?
I find for myself, if I stretch too much, I get too sore. So I usually stretch about 3 days a week, and I work out about 3 days a week, and then I try and play my drums every day. So, and I count my drums as a workout.
Right.
You got to count that as a workout. When I was, in my 20s, it didn't matter. But, as you get older too, it's you got to think about what you're exercising.
Right.
I make sure I do cardio, but not too much. I don't want to overwork out, but I don't want to underwork out. I want to support my thing, which is two things that I love to do, which are martial arts and music. Right.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I kind of try and combine those two things, and my workouts support both. That's what I try and do. How about yourself?
Well, actually, before I go into that, I just want to share a story. My first time coming over here to Anton's house, We came here just to kind of hang out and just play some drums. And then he took me into his garage, and the first thing I noticed are all his giant swords, like swords that like these kung fu masters would use in their practice. I'm like, oh man, like Anton's really got some serious weaponry in here. I would never want to mess with this guy. And anyways, ever since I've just really thought about that. I'm like, wow, like just to see somebody even at your age still working out and focusing on your physical health is so important. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's super important. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to keep playing music until like you're in your late stages of life, like look at Buddy Rich. He was playing until he
Yeah.
died.
Right. Right.
Buddy Rich is
Or even Roy Haynes. Roy
yeah, Roy
Haynes
Haynes, all those
was like
guys.
94,
I mean,
95.
there's
Now
so
he's
many like great Joe LaBarbera. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Joe
Like
Barbara. Yeah.
you know, you watch him go play, and he's playing fantastic.
Yeah. He's playing as if
No
like
injuries because he's like, not only is he taking his health fairly serious,
mm,
but he's playing with relaxation and
totally,
comfort.
totally.
So it if you force things, that's when things start to break.
Yeah. He's still sounding as youthful as ever. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's kind of like a fire, just like a train like running through that club every single time I hear him play.
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
But anyways, about me, I started working out maybe when I was around 17 or so. I used to be a pretty chubby kid. So my grandmother would always feed me Big Macs and McDonald's after school when she would pick me up. So it took me a long time to get out of that. When I was 18, I
The
had
fast food nation.
exactly fast food nation. When I was in college, that's kind of when I started taking it seriously. I started working out, but then figuring out how to work out took a really long time. And of course, diet is 80% of the game.
Yeah.
20% exercise, 80% diet. And I remember doing the whole thing where I gotta lose weight, so I'm just eating boiled chicken breast and boiled vegetables, and I was like, I'm not healthy at all. Like lost all my weight, like lost 60 pounds right away.
Wow.
Anyways, then I got with a good friend of mine, my buddy in Toronto, Mario. And in the summers, he kind of just took me under his wing. It's like you always want to go to the gym with somebody that's more experienced than you.
Yeah.
And he was a high school buddy, and he would take me into the gym, and he'd be he wouldn't even work, he wouldn't even warm up because he's that strong. But of course, that's not obviously not at listeners bat at home. You got to definitely warm up your joints.
It helps.
It definitely helps.
But I honestly, like, if you do enough mobility,
Right.
you don't need to warm up. Like if you just kind of have good mobility, you can do very like minimal warm-ups. Yeah.
Right, of course. But especially when you're weightlifting, for instance, that you definitely need to
Yeah,
warm
you don't
up.
want to go full in.
Yeah,
You want to get the blood pumping a bit.
So ever since I've just been hitting the gym a lot. For me, it's become sort of like my mantra, a little bit of a routine. It's kind of my own time to just meditate and kind of get away from everything that's going on in life.
What because I used to go to the gym a lot. And actually love lifting weights. I have more like kettlebells and stuff like that now. But
right.
What's like a routine that like are you back, chest, kind of break it up into two parts, opposite parts, or what's the deal?
Right. Well, that's the other thing too. I mean, I've tried everything, as far as back and buys, kind of combining workouts or combining muscle groups into one, like back and buys. Then you have chest and tries, and then you have legs, and then you have what else am I missing? That's pretty much it. But it's like it
do you
took a
think
while.
about like fast twitch versus slow twitch?
No, I don't. I don't even know what that is.
So you have fast twitch fibers and slow twitch fibers, right?
I see.
So like say if you do repetitive stick control exercises to build speed, you're using your fast twitch muscles.
Oh,
right?
I see what you're saying.
A lot of like the kung fu exercises are designed to build fast twitch. Like all those motion exercises we do on the drums, those are all just like building kind of fast twitch muscle fibers, right? So like say if you do explosive training or sprinting, right, you're going to build fast twitch. But if you do like heavy weight and like low rep, you're building more slow twitch.
I see what you're saying. It's a little bit of both.
Saying that, like, do you notice a difference? Like, have you ever been really like bigger than you are now?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I'd say.
Did it help your drums or hurt your drums?
Honestly, it didn't affect it too much. I mean, because the way that I play is mostly from the wrists. I had a really great drumline teacher who taught me traditional grip at an early age, and because of that, I've been able to play with great technique. Of course, it's drumline technique, as we talked about in the last episode, is completely different from everyday playing if you're playing live gigs and performances or whatever. But I mean, I've never had any sort of injury. I've never felt any tendonitis or anything like that, or carpal tunnel. I've never felt any of that. I'm just saying, I think it's because of the gym. I think it's because of staying healthy and
totally.
and working out and just being aware of my own health and physical health for sure.
It's definitely important.
Right.
I mean, there's lots of drummers that probably don't work out at all.
Oh yeah,
for sure. It's not gonna
drummers or musicians.
It's not going to stop you from being able to play the drums.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I find it for myself. Yeah, I enjoy it. I play more metal drums, right? And it's almost super a workout, physical, workout in itself. But it helps me. It helps me a lot. Mm-hmm. It keeps me very mobile and loose, and yeah,
nice.
I just really enjoy working out.
Nice. And for you listeners at home, tell us your favorite workouts, in the comments and when you listen to our podcast, and if you have any sort of funny experiences at the gym or anything like that, definitely send us a text or tag us.
Yeah, baby.
But anyways, that'll conclude our podcast today. Today's, what is it, October 2nd, right?
Yeah,
October
it is the
2nd. Yeah.
2020, baby.
2020. So thank you guys for listening. This is the Two Drummers podcast. Signing off, it's Anthony Fung
Anton Peterson.
And we'll see you next time.
Peace.